All right. What's good? We got a roster on fire, a league in turmoil, and an entire division on the table. Welcome to Knicks-ish. Tonight, we ask the question, is Deuce McBride gone? Are the Knicks ready to sacrifice one of their own to clear the deck for a championship run? We break down trade rumors, the cap hell, and who gets moved. But first, Mike Brown has a shocking plan for Jalen Brunson. He's taking the ball out of his hands to save his legs. Is this genius or absolutely insane? You tell us. Drop your thoughts in the chat right now. And stick around because Fras, the Parlay Lord, has his official week 4 locks. If you want to talk Knicks, trades, money, you are in the right place. Like and subscribe right now. The show starts now.
Hit the intro.
Mic check 1, 2. Tell these rappers I'm outside, get them start acting up. Turning hoes to housewives and cleaning the ratchet up. Do it off from boom bap, the melody rap. If they gon' put you in the box, then you might as well pack it up. Bars having bars, no cap, I'm Attica, you a precinct. How y'all competing when y'all just decent? Your rhyme efficiency's like logic's ethnicity. Don't tell me how much that you black, cause I don't see it. That's it. Welcome to Reset.
Fuck everybody on the front. When we see you in the finals, bring that same energy, nigga.
Yeah. Live and direct once again on your YouTube screen. It is your favorite Knicks-ish panel. As always, y'all already know the vibe. I am the one and only Parlay Lord, aka Fras here in the building. Of course, with the Knicks-ish panel, not limited to, but including, she's back from hiatus. My good sister, First Lady of Knicks-ish, Mrs. Knicks is in the building. Not to mention, my good brother from another mother, the one and only Knickerbocker Ave, is in the building. And as y'all know, we always gotta have the spark plug for last. Our good host here,
plug.
the one and only Tea Time is in the building in here.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, what's good, y'all? Shout out to everybody in the comments. You know the vibbery. Uncle Paulie, we see you, good brother. Yeah, I mean, who else we got up in here? Can y'all put the comments up because it take too much for me to do it on my phone? I ain't gonna lie.
Jimmy J1 in the building. What up, cuz?
What up, cuz? Darlene, what's good, sis?
Darlene.
You know, thank y'all for joining us on this Friday evening. You know what I mean? To it, right? First topic. Training camp, day 1 and 2. You know what I mean? We got the first look at the Mike Brown's Knicks, revealing Mike Brown's new systems and, you know, kind of getting a little gist of what the lineups might be. You know what I mean? Is that Kev pulling up?
What up, cuz? Yeah, shout out Kev in the building.
Bam, I'm up.
Yeah, like I was saying, we got a little initial look of what Mike Brown may be looking at as far as lineups go. You know what I mean? And the first, topic I want to talk about, first subtopic of this topic I want to talk about is, the notion of the pace and space, right? He said that he wants to play a lot faster. He wants to get in transition, get players to the corners. You know what I mean? Get a lot of those spray threes. It's kind of, aside from the space part, that's what something that I think kind of stayed with the teams, post Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau always talk about getting paint touches and spraying the ball out for open threes. I think, it makes it a whole lot easier when you're playing with pace, right? So, my question to the panel is, what benefits do we have with playing pace and space, and what may some of the drawbacks be?
Baby, you never mad at me if I smoke this time.
Answer at once, y'all.
Sorry, I was muted. My bad, y'all. I don't think there's any drawbacks on it. I mean, our team is super talented offensively. I think playing with pace and space only benefits. Somebody's mic is making noise. There we go. Playing with pace and space is just going to benefit everybody on the team offensively. I mean, as long as everyone remains engaged, everyone moves to the right spot and plays smart, everyone's going to eat with this type of offense.
Yeah, I believe the Knicks. They're going to be a whole lot more dynamic than they were last year. I mean, you know, in the Knicks Quarterverse, we're talking about it, how the Knicks look stagnant, you know, just being, you know, kind of methodical and kind of predictable on offense. Now you're going to see this team going to be a lot more dynamic, a lot more. Hold on. You're gonna see this team be a whole lot more electric, getting up and down. Now, this is the disclaimer for everybody. Be very much aware. There's going to be some adjustment issues. The first couple of weeks are going to show you how much effort they put into the training camp. I know Mike Brown is going to have that huge challenge of having to change a lot of the mindsets, especially for the starting five. Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart. All these guys were under Tibbs for quite some time. They were all playing a specific style. Now to get, to be a much more up and down, a lot of player motion and a lot of off the ball. I expect it to be, a whole lot more, a lot more exciting. And I mean, this team could quite possibly be averaging over 125. Start five alone, but I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
Nice. As far as the pace and space is concerned, I see he wants to have the Knicks in a more faster, more modern offense. And also what I've seen, 3-point shooting is going to become a focal point in this offense. So basically it's looking like it's going to be a shift from the Tom Thibodeau era where Mike Brown is looking to have the Knicks with more attack power, so to speak, on offense. I get it. He's trying to maximize the most he could get out of his players without, basically putting everything on one person, so to speak. But I got a question that I want to ask, but you know what? I'm going to wait until everybody answers this question because it ties into this topic as well, since we're on this topic. But I'm not going to ask it yet. I'm going to ask it after the rest of the panel answer this question.
I mean,
give
my bad. Go ahead, Fras.
No, you good. It's Kev's turn. I'm about to say I'm good. It's Kev's turn.
I think that when it comes to that, I think this team is gonna be just fine. I think we got the shooters. I think what he's gonna try to do is have Jalen Brunson play a little bit off ball, have him, catch and shoot on the side. But other than that, I think like Sis said, I think that we got a good enough team to be able to adjust to that pace and space just fine.
So everybody answered.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got a follow-up question to that one.
Okay.
I'm out of all the players
Wait,
that we have.
hold on. If we moving on, before we move on, because I didn't technically answer myself. Yeah, I mean, I just proposed a question.
That's what I was wondering.
So, I think. Let me first I started saying I think playing pace and space would actually be a great thing for this team, right? With the amount of weapons we got, the shooters we got on this team, and the underrated passing that we have on this team, it could be a beautiful thing. Mike
Mm-hmm.
Brown speaking about, moving without the basketball, not only for Jalen Brunson, but for everybody on the team is going to be
Mm-hmm.
absolutely vital. But there is a drawback. With pace and space, it creates, and especially with a lot of off-ball movement, it creates unbalanced transition defense. There's going to be opportunities for teams to get up the floor on us because of the unbalanced nature, because everybody's in motion. Uh, and that might be one drawback. But I do believe that the good outweigh the bad. I can't wait to see, our guys get up and down the court, get into the corner, shooting them easy 3-point shots. And even and having our centers hustling down the court because they know they're gonna get the ball if they make it to the if they rim run, right? That's gonna be something that I'm eager to see. But I'm excited to see this pace and space. But my bad, Fraz or Knickerbocker, ask that question.
Go ahead, nigga Barker.
All right. So the question is it's actually two-part for everybody. Who of the incumbent Knicks, the Knicks from last year, who were under Thibodeau, now under Brown, which one is going to benefit greatly off of this new philosophy that Mike Brown's going to hit? And then the same question is, who's gonna suffer? Who's gonna have that adjustment issue? Because like I said, it's a new philosophy, new everything. Someone's gonna
Mm.
survive and someone's gonna die. For the first couple of weeks. Who are your picks?
Yo, Knickerbocker, I just want to let you know we here because you stole one of my questions, homie. I just
But if I may, I'll start it off real quick. Yeah, Uncle Paulie. Yeah, I think me and you was
Yeah.
right here because honestly, Mikal Bridges is definitely going to be one of the ones that benefits from this because we all know Mike Brown is a coach that utilizes the wing players. He
Mm-hmm.
utilizes these guys, so Mikal is going to have a heavy presence in the offense, especially with more off-ball movement and the ease of Mikal from last year, getting a lot of easy looks, especially heading into the playoffs and even in the playoffs, just from the off-ball movement. I think you finally get Mikal Bridges averaging 20 this year. So look out because I think it's going to be another season of four guys averaging 20 plus points.
Necessarily Hart may not have to suffer though, because he can still put up those points coming off the bench,
That's the point.
right?
I would think, because that's what you want. It's putting that
Yeah,
punch back in. You know what I
There's,
mean? But
right.
go ahead, somebody else. I'm sorry.
No, there's someone in our comments that's talking kind of recklessly, and I kind of want to punch him in the mouth.
Oh,
But I'm being a good Christian right now, so I'm trying my best not
happened.
to. Go ahead, Mrs. Nick. Talk to me.
I think definitely Macau and OG benefit the most. I think Mitch will also benefit from pace and space. I know during
yo, I was
the interview yesterday with Coach, he
yo
said, which I've been saying for I don't know how many seasons, alley oop to Mitchell Robinson. It's gonna go in.
facts,
He is a beast. We
facts,
said it with Jericho Sims. We say it with him. Throw it up. He's gonna put it down. And
right?
Coach reiterating that yesterday during his interview after training camp says a lot. So I think Mitch definitely benefits. I've said it last season and the season before. If he could give us 10 points, we're in a great space. I don't think anyone really gets the bad side of it, right? We may see Jalen's numbers go
Mm-hmm.
down, but guess what? His assists are going to go up. So does he really lose something? He really becomes a point guard. Hey, my love.
Right.
Frank was
Frankie
good, my guy.
Fingers.
I really
The
feel like
geyser.
I really feel like Mitch is definitely gonna benefit in this system. Um even with the pick and roll and all that stuff that Mike Brown said that he was going to emphasize in the offense with Mitchell Robinson, that's going to be a great look for our team too. Um, you never know. Maybe Jordan Clarkson might even benefit a little bit because he's one of those guys that come off the bench and start lighting it up whenever possible. We got a couple of guys out there that could come off the bench and light it up for us anytime. So, like Sis said, we might not have a drop off.
I guess I'm devil's advocate tonight, huh? Again, I agree with. I think most of the roster will absolutely thrive in this kind of system, especially like Kev just said, Jordan Clarkson, 3-level scorer. Yeah, I mean, like his ability to catch and shoot, pump fake, hit somebody with a few dribble moves because the defense is lopsided. Get to the cup, get to the midi. That's going to be phenomenal to watch. I think Jalen Brunson will absolutely thrive. I think Josh Hart, with his ability to attack the cup, is going to absolutely be vital in this kind of system, especially if we run in the floor on fast breaks. I worry about the bigs, right? I worry about having 2 bigs on the floor at the same time, being Cat and Mitchell Robinson, and having them trying to, keep pace. And if for what it sounds like, we want to turn these games into track meets. I worry about them, keeping up and their fatigue levels. And I don't want to say the word because I'm not going to say it. So I'm just going to miss out on.
We're not
We
going
just
to
gonna miss
witness
out on that.
Go ahead, say it. I dare you to say it. I dare you to say it.
I'm not.
I double dog dare you.
I'm not, because I'm not putting no bad juju in the air. We just gonna miss out on that thought process was from tea time. I'm not doing it. This is the
Even though I know the word, I know the word.
It's the season of destiny. I ain't gonna be the bad juju guy. I'm not gonna be it. Nah, but that's my worry. You know what I mean? I think everybody else on this team is suited for this kind of style of play, but Mitch and the other bigs I worry about, especially if we at some point in the game we're gonna be running 2 bigs at the same time. Yeah, I mean that's my only worry with that. But we didn't miss anybody on this topic, huh? But I do got it.
Well,
Huh?
I'm Fras didn't go and I didn't go. I actually.
My fault. My fault. Get my fault.
Yeah, Fras turn.
Wait. The question was who would benefit, right? I answered first. It's Angel turn. Go ahead. Yeah, I answered first. I said Mikal Bridges. It's Angel turn.
Oh yeah, that's
then I'm gonna ask my question.
All right. So obviously, the one person that will probably benefit the most out of this system is probably Deuce McBride. He's gonna be. He's probably one of our best catch and shoot guys. Jordan Clarkson, I don't think he's going to benefit because I think he's already made for it. So his numbers are not going to go that much up than what it normally does. But Jordan Clarkson, he's a catch and shoot guy. Deuce McBride had to do catch and shoot, defend, and he also had to run the point a lot. During his tenure. So I honestly think that Deuce McBride will benefit. However, that actually be a double-edged sword, and that will lead into
Sorry.
Well, now, so since we're on this subject of the new roster and the switch up of the offense, I want to pose a question to the panel real quick. Goes a little something like this, right? Do y'all think that playing point forward, right, is the key to unlocking Cat's full potential in New York?
We said it last season. He's not a center. He's a power forward. He's a 4.
So
it's gonna be great. I think I
just have a different definition of what a point forward is, right? to me, a point forward could bring the ball up the court and like truly direct the offense. Now, I think Cat is a phenomenal phenomenal is a stretch. I think he's a really good passer for being a 7-footer. You know what I mean? But point forward, that is a stretch. You think point forward, you think LeBron James, you think point forward, like even though he is classified as a point guard and's been a point guard his whole career, but you think Magic Johnson, you feel me? Like those guys are point forwards, guys that you could give the ball and be like, yeah, run the offense.
Let's just say like this. Let's talk. If you're going to say the word point forward, the term point forward, let's give it to the father of that position, the legendary Scottie Pippen. He was the ultimate point forward because he did everything that a point guard can do. He basically played position 1 through 5 if he wanted to, even at 6'7". But he ran the offense. He played like he guarded big guys. He didn't care. He did what he had to do. So I agree with you, T. I don't think that Cat is considered a point forward. I mean, a power forward, absolutely, but a point forward, I can't see him like bringing down the ball and running down an offense and calling out plays. I mean, that's something reserved for for maybe. I mean, OG I can see doing. Mikhail maybe, James obviously, but not that. Not Cat.
I do not want to see OG bringing down the ball and calling out plays.
Nasty work.
Make sure y'all hitting them like buttons, guys. Make sure y'all hitting them like buttons.
I will say this, though. I will say this, right? I will say this, that if I had to have him at some point in the game, if I need him to do it, I wouldn't be mad at seeing Cat being a point forward because we've seen him make some incredible passes before. And he's pretty good he's a pretty good passer at that position. So if we need it be, I wouldn't mind it.
So
the only thing I don't like,
not all the time.
The only thing that concerns me is when he dribbles the ball up the court like that, he's almost out of control a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So
and he already gets in foul trouble without that.
And to further my point, right? Tim Duncan was an amazing passer for a power forward. Nobody in the world would consider him a point forward. You know what I mean?
Nah.
And that's my worry because a point forward legit has to handle the ball.
No,
he
yeah.
has to be
I agree.
Have to be able to break down defense, make like Cat when he drives to the basket is not to pass the ball, it's to score. You know what I mean? Like to use Knickerbocker's, comparison to Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen could drive to the basket and kick the ball out. You know what I mean? We watched Scottie Pippen break down defense and get into the paint to create for others. I like Cat as a stationary passer. Shout out to Frankie Fingers on a super chat. Yo, my bad, y'all, too.
Frankie,
I just found out today that the super chat was turned off. I didn't do it. But it was turned off. But shout out to Frankie Fingers for the super chat. He said, who back mentioned Cat coming off the... Oh, that's easy. Hug Purdy.
Yabusele.
And you got Yabusele. And you got like Fras said, you got Yabusele.
Yep.
Yeah. I think Yabusele is going to be more of a like utility big. He's going to bounce between paws. He's going to bounce back and forth between being a power forward and center. Center in I said
that's for Uncle Paulie right there.
I said Paul.
Nah.
Oh, that's what we doing now.
See that?
That's what we're doing now. Anytime somebody get paused, the pause.
Yeah, but I said pause though. I said
around. Nah. It wasn't about that.
That
was we was expecting Uncle Paulie moment. You know what I mean?
That was.
Like I said, I think Yabusele is going to be more of a utility big, depending on what the situation calls for. I think he's going to play more 4. I think we're going to see Hug get Huck Purdy get some PT coming off the bench to back up Mitchell Robinson. Because we heard Mike Brown said that he want his bigs to be his fives to be traditional fives, rim run, alley oops. You feel me? Like that's what he want the fives to be. I think Yabusele offensive game is much more than just rim running and alley oops. He can spread the floor, he can shoot. So I think we'll see him play more four.
Wait a minute. The aforementioned term point forward. Yabusele fits the description, my friend. Let's talk about it. He's
Does
there.
he really?
He can listen. I watched tape of him in this Euro League. Seeing him come up the court with the ball, controlling the offense is a promising sign. I'm not saying he's the greatest. All right, that's not what I'm saying. Listen, just hear me out for a minute, y'all. What I'm saying is he can be another person that can spell Jalen Brunson like Cat can when you know teams are already locking in on Brunson like they was a lot of last season. What was teams' main focus? Getting the ball out of Brunson's hands. Now you have a coach who's trying to work that into the offense to make teams have to adjust to that. So double-edged sword.
And you can't
now
switch. You can't run the switch, constantly if the ball is not in JB's hand. When the ball was not in JB's hand, the switch could not get to him quick enough, and he was able to break down. That's why he was able to average over 30 a night in the playoffs.
All right, so now, that's great setup. I like the way y'all did that right there because I got another question. Y'all didn't know it was happening, but what y'all did, y'all gave me one of Mitchell Rob alley.
Hold on. We got a little business to discuss. Ladies and gentlemen, if you love what you're hearing, you love what you're seeing, please do us a favor and hit a like and subscribe. Click the notification icon so that way you get all the information and all the newest posts from Knicks and Ish. And of course, be sure to follow us all on our social media platforms. We will put that later on. But tea time, lead us in, please.
And Sharon is always caring.
Always caring.
Yes, sir.
Sharon is always caring. But yeah, so Coach Mike Brown discussed Marlon was good.
Money Mall.
What up, God?
And Coach Mike Brown discussed, taking Jalen Brunson more off ball. Now my question to the panel is this. With Coach Mike Brown wanting to take the ball out of Jalen Brunson's hand to, make his life easier, save his legs for later in the game, what are the real risks in simplifying Jalen Brunson's role and, removing some of the elements that made him an all-star last year?
Quite easily, adjusting Jalen Brunson's role could be a double-edged sword, obviously, because on one hand, you free him up and he will be able to take advantage of certain mismatches. The other side of that, though, is that if the ball is not in Jalen Brunson's hand, we all know that Jalen Brunson led the league in dribbles. I mean, he had possession of the ball, the majority of almost everything. I mean, hell, he was the most clutch player of the year last year. What really concerns me, though, is that it may expose certain deficiencies around, other players. It may expose Josh Hart a little bit. It may put Mitchell Robinson in a precarious position. It may put, an Ariel Huck-Porty or whoever else in a position, especially if Karl Anthony Towns is in foul trouble, as Mrs. Knicks alluded to. When those situations happen, and you have to spell Jalen Brunson because you can't have him play 48 minutes. How Tom Thibodeau tried it and look what it did. It can expose someone. So I have some concerns and reservations. I just hope that Mike Brown, with his experience, with everything he's done, whether it be in Cleveland or in LA or in Golden State, that he would be able to mask whatever those deficiencies are, because we already know Mitchell Robinson is limited on offense, but he may be able to thrive in this thing. You don't want to see OG Anunoby tea time. You don't want to see him, bringing down the ball. We don't want to see, Karl Anthony Towns bringing down the ball. So, My biggest concern is that if you lessen Jalen Brunson's role, it may open and expose another player that may have a deficiency that that doesn't get talked about a lot, but it does cost us games.
I mean, I guess my only concern would be everyone stepping up, right? Like we've seen our guys step up when they needed to. However, it wasn't always consistent, right? Like we saw Macau step up and OG step up whenever JB went down, but we didn't see that same tenacity when they all played together. And I think in this type of offense and wanting to get the ball out of JB's hands, we need everyone to remain aggressive at all times because they can thrive that same way even with JB on the court. I do like him not having to bring up the ball or it not being in his hands so much because that's what teams thought could stop us for the last 2 seasons. Get it out of JB, the rest of the Knicks can't do anything. And so I'm going to need the rest of the guys to show them, now we could do something. Like, we still offensive threats, which we as fans know, but other teams and other players don't give the other guys that respect. And so we need them to do that early on, like make it known everyone on this team is a threat offensively.
But I also think that he might be able to thrive even more in this offense when playing off ball, when everybody else is playing aggressive and they look for him for the open shots. You know what I'm saying? So his
Kev, that
assist
wasn't
might
the
go.
question, Kev. That wasn't the
My
question.
bad. My bad.
What was the challenges, Kev? We know he can do good.
I don't think
Kev.
there's good.
We know he can do good, Kev. What are the challenges, Kev?
I'm just saying, man. Like I really feel like there's no disadvantage. I feel like I just
respect
feel
that.
like I really feel like there's no disadvantage either way for our team, bro. I think that we're gonna be just fine, bro. I think we might be even better than last year.
Yeah, for sure.
No, we will be even better.
That's what I'm saying. I really think we'll be even better next year. I mean this year.
So everybody answered before I go?
Nah, not yet. But I'm gonna keep it very simple, and I ain't gonna take too long.
Take your time, Playboy.
It's like, I think this is like a situation. I look at it as we're playing with house money right now. Hear me out, right?
Talk to us, Parlay Lord.
The bet has now been raised by the house. It's time to up the ante. I think that's what Mike Brown is trying to do, especially with the rest of the guys that we have supplementing our stars. I think he's trying to up the ante across the board because remember, last time on Knicks and Ish, we talked about how they're trying to foster competition with the remaining roster spots, right? Now, if you tie that in with the fact that, Mike Brown's trying to get other guys involved more in the offense, now I see that the ante has been raised by Leon Rose, by now Mike Brown. Okay, so now it's time for that to come to fruition and the players to follow through with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So now, when I think of drawbacks, right? That means we're going to be relying on somebody else to initiate offense, right? And in a starting 5, again, this is all preliminary. I haven't seen what Mike Brown has in store as far as play wise go, but just looking at the starting 5 and looking at like somebody having to initiate the offense, I'm not secure in most of those guys' ball handling ability. Maybe Macau,
I think.
OG is shaky with the dribbles. We know that. You know what I mean? Cat is a downhill, 2-dribble, lay up the basketball type of guy. So it's like that's the only thing I might like cause me worry is the fact that who's going to initiate the offense if the ball is out of JB hands. Excuse me. I think those other guys in the starting five are amazing at what they do. It's just that part of the game that of their game that worries me. Me having to watch OG put the basketball on the court is terrifying to me. I'm not gonna lie. I love every other part of his game. Love it. I love it. But him watching OG have to dribble the ball more than 2 times is terrifying.
It's not like he's a bad dribbler. It's just that's not his strong suit. His strong suit is defending.
He's terrible.
He's not that
He's
bad.
terrible dribbler.
Oh my god.
Yo,
He's not that bad.
and he got Bambi legs. You feel me? I love OG, and he got Bambi legs. I love OG. Listen, no disrespect to OG. I love the fact he's on my team. He makes my team that much better. I'm just saying he can't dribble the basketball, and he got Bambi legs. So I don't want to see too many situations where he's the one conducting stuff. If JB's not conducting offense, then it's going to have to be McCall, right?
But can we also?
I think so. When Jalen Brunson went down last year, he played exceptionally well actually. So and he averaged almost 5 assists a game when Jalen Brunson went down.
And that's what he got from that training for playing with the bum ass Nets. You feel me? He had to do a lot of that when he playing with the bum ass Nets. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Nets for stinking and making him have to develop that part of his game. You know what I mean? Thank you. And FYI,
how you enjoying those draft picks?
Oh, see, look. Knickerbocker. See, we on the same accord today, good brother. Because I was literally about to say the same shit.
Uncle Paulie, word up. Uncle Paulie. That's a good one right there.
No, I literally was about to say the same thing similar to Uncle. We also have to remember we have offense coming off that bench.
It's fact.
Right? So if we use rotations correctly, we may not really have something to worry about. A couple of things I wanted to mention. One, him playing off the ball doesn't necessarily mean he's not going to be the facilitator, right? It just means there's going to be more movement, more people touching the ball, less stagnant offense, right? Then if we do need someone, we've seen him and Deuce operate well together. Him and Clarkson will operate very well together if we needed someone to facilitate that badly. You know what I mean? I think we have so much firepower all around, not only off, somebody being able to score, but we have the talent. We have Brogdon that can also facilitate.
Yeah.
So just using the bench where someone may be slipping, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be a learning process, like Uncle Paulie said. He said the only real disadvantage is the learning adjustment phase. Once we get it, it's gonna be smooth sailing because we have so much talent stocked up on this team.
All right, so before we move on from we still on the first topic, which is crazy. Before we kind of move on from this topic, I want to say one thing. We all seen the same highlight. It was shared in the group chat. We all know Jalen Brunson is going to be amazing off ball. Like, we all know that the league is in trouble because if it's done right, there's nothing you could do with him if you can't load up against him. Pause. Right. So let's leave that there. Right. Real quick to end this topic, because the speculation and the reporters asking questions because they watching who's wearing what color jerseys in practice. I just need the panel to go around the horn and tell me they starting 5. That's it. Just tell me you're starting 5.
Real quick, JB, Mikhail, OG, Cat, Mitch. Done.
Yeah, I'm going with Angel. I'm going with Angel.
Honestly, that's pretty much what it's gonna be. Like, I don't see it being any other thing else. That's pretty much what it's gonna be.
Right.
I third Angels Starting five. Yes, I
That
do
is
agree.
my number one starting five. However, I think we can adjust that starting five depending on who we're playing.
Yeah. You
I
could
do agree
always
with that.
you might throw
Definitely.
in Josh or
We're
something
not
like
always
that.
gonna need two bigs to start. We're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
But you see, it's not even about the big theory because I already know Mitch is not going to play every single game. And on top of that, there was already like some speculation that he's not going to play back to backs. But for the most part, I'm a little bit old school. I like guys to play their natural position. JB is a 1. Mikhail is a 2. OG is a 3. Cat is a 4. Mitch is a 5. I like guys to start the game playing their natural position. Now, can you divulge into it and do some other stuff? Absolutely. But in customary position, I mean, I'm a child of the '90s, so I'm a firm believer. I like Harper at the point and Starks at the 2 and Pat playing 5. That's the way I wanted to run. I don't like to diverge too much from that unless a specific kind of matchup.
Yeah. I agree with that. But to keep things moving along, we're already 40 minutes in, and we still on the first topic. But there's been a developing roster dilemma. I mean, what's good was good. It's been we have a little roster dilemma brewing in the New York Knicks, in I guess in a good way. With the signing of Malcolm Brogdon and the re-signing of Landry Shamet, there leaves a financial burden for us to either get rid of one of those guys or trade someone, right? And a lot of the rumors and speculations has been going on that Deuce McBride might be the one. I should have started saying this topic off by saying I'm probably going to piss off Mrs. Knicks while I even talk about this. But we got to do it. But yeah, so
Yeah.
the news reports are saying that Deuce might be the one that's on the chopping block. But also there are correlating reports that said it might be Tyler Kolek, it might be Pack 'em Up Dottier. So, I mean, the question to the panel is this, right? If Deuce is the one to go, what kind of assets that we should package up with him? Because we're going to have to send something with him to get almost nothing back, right? What kind of package we could get for Deuce? And if not Deuce, who do you see us trading instead of Deuce? Or if no one gets traded, who stays between Malcolm and Shamet? I know that's a lot, so I'm gonna repeat it, right? What kind of package we could get for Deuce? And if Deuce is not traded, who goes? Oh no, what kind of package we could get for Deuce? And if Deuce is not traded, who else would be traded? Or if no one's traded, who goes between Malcolm and Shamet?
That's an overloaded question, bro. Because
We got time.
here's reality. The Knicks have to make a move because you can't sign both Malcolm Brogdon, Landry Shamet. You can't even sign the other guys that we mentioned last week. You can't sign Alex Land. You can't sign this guy. The Knicks have only one roster spot available. So in order for them to be able to sign both Shamet and Brogdon and anyone else to a guaranteed deal, to start opening night, they have to trade someone. And Parlay Lord, you may have to help me out with this one because I don't have the salary cap numbers right in front of me. But in order for them to do that, they would have to package Deuce McBride and someone else. They need to pull out almost $4 million in order for them to do that, to be able to sign both guys and still send somebody else. And in terms of getting a return, I mean, we're talking about our good old friend cash exceptions.
Was it like 4.4 million, something like that?
Something along those lines, yes.
Somewhere around there. I'm not I forget off the top of my head, but I know it's somewhere in that ballpark. So, yeah. So because of that second apron that Angel aforementioned about the Knicks being over that second apron, they're gonna have to shed somebody. In essence, somebody's gonna have to pretty much be sent to the waiver wire because we have to get under that apron before the season starts because that's when everybody's salary cap is tallied and all that. So it has to be reported before the season starts. And again, I have a question on this topic that I'm going to ask at the end when everybody's done answering. But to me, it's like you're in essence saying, which way are you going to go with it? Right? And I don't want to give too much away because it's going to basically give away my question. But it's like, which way are you going to go with it? Are you going to stay? Or are you going to, you know what I mean? So
my thing is like, let's say we don't trade Deuce and we keep him, right?
mhm.
Do we necessarily have to trade Deuce to keep one of these guys, or we have to trade Deuce to keep one of these? How does it work?
So
So,
it's a money thing. So
so
we would have to package money. We would have to package enough players out to keep one of the guys. And basically Deuce's money would be able to keep Deuce alone would be able to keep one of them.
and
Both
it's
of them.
and it's
Both.
and it's
Oh, okay, both of
Well,
them.
because we have one spot. So in order to keep the other, we would have to get rid of someone.
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily
So
have
let
to
me
be.
ask you something.
Hold on, Kev.
We
It doesn't.
could keep Deuce.
Right.
And let me say, and because your second question, T-Time, was who would you rather keep between Shamet, and Malcolm Brogdon,
Yeah.
right?
If
So
we
can you
not trading
keep
Deuce.
Deuce and just keep one of those players at the same
Yeah.
time?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
my thing would keep Deuce, and then I would keep Malcolm Brogdon over
Not mad
Landry
at it.
Shamet.
Hmm.
I'm not mad
Because
at
I
that.
feel like if I feel like Malcolm Brogdon, right? Can y'all hear me good?
You broke up a
Yeah.
little, but I can hear you.
Now you good, Cav?
I feel like Malcolm Brogdon, if healthy, he could be okay. If Malcolm Brogdon stays healthy, if we're gonna get the Malcolm Brogdon, the healthy Malcolm Brogdon, I think he could be a nice key player to this team at a low salary. You know what I mean? He's a veteran player. He has playoff experience. Um, he could shoot the rock. He could facilitate, like Mrs. Nick says. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he's a better player than Landry Shamet overall. So that would be my take.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna go with I'm not trading Deuce. I'm not trading Deuce.
Right.
First of all, that's one
Right.
of our kids. I'm not trading my kid. That's one of the last ones left. I'm not trading him. If we can package some other guys to keep both of them, I don't know how that will work. Maybe the rookie and Tyler Kolek. I don't know what the money situation is. I definitely would keep Dye. I feel like he has the most upside than all the younger guys that we have. To me, I think offensively his upside is bigger than all of them. Tyler, I like Tyler. I like his ball vision, but I feel like it doesn't always show on the court when he's with the guys on the court, right? Like we
Yeah.
see him in the G League and we see him killing in the G League, but it hasn't yet translated into big league with our team. And if I had to choose between him and Deuce, I'm choosing Deuce every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if if we have to choose, so we keep Deuce. If I have to choose between Shamet and Brogdon, I'm gonna go against Kev. I'm picking Shamet. I'm picking Shamet only because we don't know if we're gonna have a healthy Malcolm Brogdon. And do we chance that? Do we chance not having a healthy Malcolm Brogdon and cost us a huge part of our bench? I'm not willing
But
to take that risk.
can I say one thing though? Just not forget Shamet missed a portion of the season as well last year.
No.
And we didn't get him back to I don't remember when I forgot when we got him back. But he missed some part of
So
the
he
season as
missed it
well.
because of the injury, right? Yes.
The
But
show
he's not
the
injury, but
injury,
he's not
right. The shoulder
injury
injury.
prone. But he's not injury prone
Good
where
point.
it's
Good
a
point.
consistent always getting hurt, right? Because someone could have that was a
Yeah.
freak ass accident that he got hurt. But there's a difference between someone getting hurt in a freak accident and then someone who's constantly hurt. And we haven't seen a healthy Malcolm Brogdon in a really long time. Not saying it's not possible, but do you risk that big part of our bench because we went one way and not the other way? And I feel like Shamet deserves a chance to win with this team. One, because he wants to be here. Two, because he played his ass off in them playoffs last season.
He did.
On both ends.
He did.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that, Darlene.
I just think overall Malcolm Brogdon is the better player.
So
Again, I'm not saying he's not the better player. I'm just saying
Yeah.
I'm not a risk taker. I don't chance him not being 100% healthy for us all season.
yeah, so
I hear you.
here's my little 2 cents on it, right? I would absolutely keep Deuce McBride, right? That's one, right? Absolutely keep him. Second part is if I'm keeping Deuce McBride, who am I trading? I don't care if we have to package both Tyler and pack them up Dadier. Ship them both out. You know what I mean? This is the season of destiny. You feel me?
It's not enough money to pull them out, though. They're
With both of them?
rookie deals. They're both on rookie deals. They're both making less than like under $2 million.
But how much we need to clear before?
As Fras said, almost.
Basically, you need like 5 million. You gotta clear like 5 million.
So if they're both over, they gotta be making more than 2 million, bro.
So Tyler Kolek is making 2.1, and Dadier is making 2.8. So there goes 5.
It's 5.
But then here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. Now you got to find a team that's going to want to take them because a lot of teams are on the second apron. They have the same roster issues. So, the trading piece that everyone's going to want is Deuce McBride. Deuce McBride is the
can find there's teams that are rebuilding that would absolutely take Tyler Kolek and a Dadier.
I think Washington is a team that would take those guys.
I agree. But I think it's absolutely teams that would take both of those guys, and there goes the money right there. If it's Deuce or those two guys are out of here. No disrespect to them. You know what I mean? I hope they have great careers wherever they go, if that's the route that we decide to take, right? Because this is the season of destiny, right? We don't have 2-3 years for Tyler Kolek or pack him up Dadier to develop into what we need him to be to win a championship, right? So they will have to go. And then the third part is if we don't trade anyone, who has to go? I'm going to have to agree with Kev. As much as I like Shamet, and as much as I like what he did in the playoffs last season when he actually got a time to play, it's hard for me to turn down an opportunity to have 30 points coming off your bench. You know why I say 30 points? Because you saw the graphic. Malcolm Brogdon averaged 15 points a game for his career or whatever season it was, 50 points a game. You know how much Jordan Clarkson averaged coming off the bench? 16 points. That is 30 points from two people. It is hard for me to turn that down. You know what I mean? As much as I like Shamet, the thought of having somebody who not only can handle the basketball, can score the basketball, and has been in big game situations and know what it's like to compete in playoff basketball all balled up into one person, I can't turn that down. I like Shamet. I think Shamet would absolutely thrive in a pace of space situation. I like his grittiness on defense, even though he may not be the best defender. The fact that he is willing to, put pressure on the basketball and try to make things difficult for people is absolutely admirable, right? But if we get, I don't like risk neither, Mrs. Nix. I agree with you. But if we could carry Malcolm Brogdon into the playoffs, we have absolutely enough talent to carry him into the playoffs. And if that happens, we're just gonna be hard to beat with him because he's a really good he's a good defender as well. It's not just about his offensive game. He's a solid defender. He can pass the ball. When we talk about getting Jalen Brunson off the ball, you can add him to a lineup with him and Jalen Brunson when he's the primary ball handler. Like, you can't do that with Shamet. You feel me? Like, so I'm gonna land the plane there, but it's a very interesting situation that we're in. In Leon Rose, we trust. We trust. As long as it's not trading.
Can I say this is a rare situation for us? This is a situation for us that hasn't happened in a long time.
We got too many good players.
Listen.
Like, it hasn't happened now for real. That ass. Like, when is the last time we had a let me try to think about what I say. I don't want to get the
because you about to say Butler.
I don't want to get
Get him. Uncle Paulie at. Uncle Paulie.
I ain't say it. No, I ain't say it. I ain't say a word, so it don't count. I caught myself before I said anything. But yeah, man, that's it.
Listen, the possibility of having a bench with talent like Clarkson, Malcolm Brogdon, Josh Hart, Yabusele. Yo, hold on. Wait a minute. Listen to them four names right there. That's a crazy bench right there. Just saying them four names together, that's crazy. Yeah, I agree with T-Time on that. Definitely.
Knickerbocker, you weigh in, Knickerbocker.
I'm playing director because obviously you guys were talking about the bench. I mean, just look at that bench, just the way it is right now. This is not even talking about trades or anything like that. Look at that. I mean, that is
crazy, bro.
That's 125 points a night for opposing teams in any division, in any conference to try to defend against. You got to be able to figure a way to stop that starting lineup, which already led the league in scoring and minutes, obviously. But then you're going to have a much more revamped, much more powerful second. And I'm a little optimistic about that third string. But you plug in a Malcolm Brogdon, you plug in a Landry Shamet, you plug in Deuce McBride and Jordan Clarkson with Gershon Yabusele. I mean, that is firepower offensively that hasn't been around around our team and around our fan base for a long time. And I mean, if that doesn't Knicks fans, I really need y'all to do something for me. I need y'all to take two fingers right here and put it on your neck and check your pulse to see if you guys are alive right now, because look at that lineup. Tell me
that's
who
crazy.
in the NBA, what team in the NBA besides the defending NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder, who's stopping that? Who?
Nah.
Who?
And it's so scary
No,
because like
seriously, who? I want to know who.
it's so scary, right? Because when you start thinking about like when you start thinking about Mike Brown's philosophy of wanting to get Jalen Brunson off the ball and the movement, most NBA teams they pick a focal point or two focal points like, oh, we got to stop these two players, right? Or we got to stop this player. And let's say that two players they're going to go in every night trying to stop is Cat and Jalen Brunson, right? Those are guys that everybody automatically like, oh, we got to stop these two guys. If we're moving the basketball and players are moving, there's opportunities for Macau to keep on having 25 plus nights. OG 25 plus nights. You got Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench, 20 points off the bench. Deuce McBride being open. You know what I mean? 20 points. Like, it's opportunities for all these guys to excel when teams be like, oh, we're going to stop Jalen Brunson. Oh, we're going to stop Cat. And then you realize the ball is moving and guys are paused, moving. There's mad opportunities. It's so scary. And then you say, again, to tie it back into the topic, then you say, like, oh, we got somebody like Malcolm Brogdon coming off the bench that can conduct the offense. That is fire. You know what I mean? I like Shamet, and I think Shamet could absolutely thrive in his offense, pace and space, getting in transition, a lot of open three-point shots. You know what I mean? Like, I think he could thrive there, but I just think the added true point guard, like, I think Malcolm Brogdon, like, as much as Jalen Brunson is, to me, Jalen Brunson is a one by size, not by like true nature of his.
He's a two by nature. He's a one by size. Yep.
You feel me? Malcolm Brogdon is a true one. You feel me? He's a true one. And having that coming off the bench, dispel Jalen Brunson when you got Jordan Clarkson and Deuce McBride and Josh Hart coming off the bench, Yabusele, somebody that could actually conduct that second unit and make it turn into a second starting lineup. That's fire because, the bottom dweller teams couldn't beat our bench. You feel me? Like, that's how real it is.
Sorry, I had to play some Deuce defense because this is what I'm not giving up. This is what I'm not giving up. Y'all know me. Y'all know I used to back Iman Shumpert. That was my dude. Deuce is my dude. I'm not giving him up. And just so y'all know, I just bought his jersey. He has to be a Knicks because I have to wear it to a game this season.
That would be such. That would be so if you done paid $125 for the freaking,
Oh man, man. That's, I ain't gonna hold you. That's how I felt when they traded Julius Randle because I just bought his jersey and boom, next year they traded him.
Look at the defense though, like he doesn't quit.
So can I add why I don't think he will be traded? Right, this is why why he won't be traded. I think, as great a defenders Macau and OG are, they're not full court press guys. You feel me? They're not full court press guys. Sometimes you're going to need that little speedy guy to guard the other little speedy guy and press him full court. And that's what Deuce McBride brings. He can do that. And he can do that all game. I'm talking about not all 48 minutes. I'm over-exaggerating, obviously. But all 48 minutes, Deuce McBride could pick up full court. And I think that's also invaluable, too, because we don't have many people on our roster that could do it. Maybe Josh, and Josh is not really proficient at that.
I think Josh, too.
Yeah, he's not. He could do it, but he's not proficient at it. Deuce can do that all game. That's what I'm saying. Like, Deuce could do that all game. Oh, he's killing us. He's too fast. Deuce. You feel me? Like, So that's another reason why I wouldn't trade him. I'm gonna land the plane there
And
on
you
that.
know what else Deuce is really good at? Even if he gets beat off the dribble, the way he gets back in front of the guy or puts enough pressure on the side without fouling. He's super good at that.
Yeah. Yeah. So and then like I forgot. I think Mrs. Nick said it. You add the fact that he's the last and
He's
truly
undefeated.
developed person on this Knicks roster since Mitchell Robinson. Like, you think about it, like Mitchell. I know we had R.J. Barrett. I know we had Quentin Grimes and all those other people. But what I'm saying, when you look at what the starting point of the talent was to where they are now, you can only compare him to Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson was a super raw talent, pure athleticism. You know what I mean? Like a twig. To him being, mentioned as one of the best fives in the NBA right now. I think Deuce McBride in a year or two could be one of the best bench players in the NBA.
I'll raise you. I'll raise you one more.
What up?
Deuce McBride is probably a key starter on any other team.
Talk that shit.
He's
Talk
gonna
that shit.
he's gonna be a starter. He's gonna be a key starter. He's gonna be one of those guys that you mentioned when you play a team like, damn, Joe, they got Deuce McBride on that team. You know, and he playing with that other cat. And right now he's playing behind JB. So I mean, that's how good I think Deuce McBride really is.
Yeah, I agree. All right, where we at?
Well, right
And
now,
let me add this. I'm all for karma. Y'all know me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for karma. He's one I feel like will bite us in our ass if we get rid of him right now. I feel like he deserves an opportunity to win with this team. He's shown from G League getting pushed back and forth all that time to giving us all he can. I feel like I like you said, no bad juju. We're not doing that. We need all the positive energy. This is the season. We need all the positive energy this season.
ladies and gentlemen, we've been saying this. We've been saying this for a few months now. This is the season. This
Of
is
destiny.
we have waited our entire lives for the most of us. If you are under the age of 50, you have waited your whole life for this season. It's upon us now. So if you are excited for the New York Knicks 2025-2026 season, and you're loving what you like, please do us a favor. Hit a like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Be sure that you hit that notification icon, and be sure that you're also checking out the merch. The merch is going to be hitting up soon. You know, Tea Time's got to get on that a little bit. But hey, my Shopify, Knicks and Ish, make sure that you copy some merch, because it's gonna be some fire there. Trust me on that one, because Tea Time's hitting me up with all kinds of ideas, and he's already loving what I do graphically. So I gotta get to work on that probably tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah. Custom merch. We working. Yeah, we working slowly but surely. I don't want Fras. The Fras, when we get over here, I know Fras. I know Fras. I know. My bad. I know Fras.
I ain't said nothing.
For those
I
of
know.
you, who are not aware, Tea
Fras,
Time has yet to send Fraz his cat Bodega shirt.
look, Fras, you my brother. I felt the gaze through the screen. I felt it.
It's been all summer. He's been waiting all summer for this, and we're almost into October. He still hasn't gotten it yet.
Technically,
Word.
it's not my fault. When I was shipping out cat T-shirts, Fras is like, "Yo, hold my T-shirt. Hold my T-shirt."
This is why I have not said a word. He's right. I didn't say it.
Nah, but
he got that.
But what you would call it? To lay the rest of this topic with about Deuce, I agree with Mrs. Nick. That's bad juju. Yeah, I mean, and this kid worked his tail off to be a Knick. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure did.
and it's not like we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about a charity case. This kid is good at what he does. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you need specialty players. He's a 3-and-D guy. You know what I mean? Like, you need specialty players, and you need somebody like Deuce McBride. You know what I mean? Especially when you're wing heavy, and you know your starting guard don't really play much defense. You know what I mean? Let's keep it buck. You know what I mean? Like you need somebody like Deuce, where it's like, all right, we could put Deuce out there to guard the one, but we're gonna move Brunson to the two for this game because Brunson getting killed. You know what I mean? Like, but moving on to the next topic. I mean, yeah, we're gonna talk about the division. Yeah, I mean, and the East a little bit. I mean, the Knicks is stacked. Pause. I mean, with the Atlantic Division looking the way it is, or the East for that matter looking the way it is, you got the Celtics with a major injury and trading away everybody. You got the Pacers with a major injury and Miles Turner being gone in the East. Yeah, I mean, 76ers health is always an issue. Brooklyn Nets being absolutely dumpster fire. Yeah, I mean,
And to add to Philly, I think it came out today that Paul George isn't going to be ready early on this season.
and I heard the McCain kid is hurt again.
Yeah.
What? Paul George is injured? There's
Yeah.
a shocker.
No.
There's a shocker.
Yeah, I heard the McCain kid is hurt again. So when we looking at our, let's focus first on specifically our division, then we can expand into the Eastern Conference, right?
First in our division, without a doubt. We don't even need to talk about that. They trash. Every one of them.
I mean, I think there's like teams like Milwaukee,
They're
Detroit,
not in our division.
and
Wait, hold.
no. I'm
Kev,
just saying the East. I'm just saying the
let's stay on
East.
topic, Kev. We talk about a division.
We'll get to the East. We'll get to it. Relax. Just
Well, I think we're gonna. If that. I mean, that division. Philly's trash, and they don't even know what's going on with Joel Embiid. To be honest with you, they don't even know what's going on with Joel Embiid. Toronto is still in build mode. Brooklyn too. So I'm not. I think the Atlantic is ours. Eyes closed.
Yeah.
This is the first time that the Knicks have been favorites to win the Atlantic Division since I probably was a kid. Like, let's be real about this, y'all. And I'm not even exaggerating. This is the first time I've actually seen that the Knicks are favorites to win the division. It's crazy. And I love it. Because it's been a long time coming. This is full circle for a lot of us Knicks fans. You know what I mean? Like, of course, obviously the Tatum injury puts Boston out of there. They you know what I mean?
Boston was out of there with Tatum. I don't want to hear that.
Are they even a
Well,
player?
technically.
Honestly,
They're
are
not
they
in our division. Hold on, they're not in the division. We're gonna get there.
No, we talked about Boston. We was talking about Boston.
Nah, we talking about Boston. Yeah, they're in the
they're in a
division. Yeah.
division, but are they a playing team? In your
Oh
opinion?
yeah, facts. They are in our
Yeah.
division. My fault.
Yeah, you good. But nah,
Because I think that Boston's still better than Philly. That's how bad Philly is right now. Boston without Tatum is still better than Philly.
There's some truth to that. There's some truth to that.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. They traded away a lot. There's a lot of stuff that's going. Drew Holiday, Porzingis
Tatum's
hurt.
Yeah.
But Tatum's hurt. Yeah, I mean,
But they still got Brown.
They still
But
they
we
still
also
do have
don't
Brown.
know, but you also don't know how Anthony Simons is going to fit into that.
Hold on, Philly still got Tyrese Maxey. Like I hate Philly, but I'm not gonna shit on Tyrese.
I'm
That
not
boy
sure on
good.
it either, but he's not better than Brown.
That boy good.
He good.
He's
He
also
good. Oh, Hercules, I'm with you, but he ain't
yeah,
better. He ain't better than Brown.
Brown has years on him. Yeah, I mean, and
Exactly.
I'm saying Tyrese Maxey is still getting better. Yeah, I mean, Tyrese Maxey is about like a good 3-4 years younger than Jalen Brown, and they comparable. Yeah, I mean, like,
I have to agree with Marlon on this one. Marlon right. Marlon right. I have to
and
agree with him.
that's another thing, right? Yo, can you, can you put the division graphic back up there, please? Thank you, good brother. Uh, Now I will say this, right?
Yeah, that's a fact, Marlon. That's a fact, Marlon.
I think, I think, obviously we run away with the division, right? Uh,
Yep.
but Ingram going to Toronto with some of the things I've seen them being able to do last year, that's interesting. I'm not saying they a threat to us. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they a threat to us. They not. They not a threat at all. But I'm just saying it's interesting. I can see them being top 3 in the division this year. You know what I mean? Like, but as far as the division go, this is clear cut. The injuries is going to kill Philly again. I think I think Boston is a playing team, to be perfectly honest. You know what I mean? I think because you also look at Jalen Brown, his injury history is kind of shaky as well. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
He's not he might not be healthy most of the season, especially taking a larger role on that team. Um Now the, before I ask this question, I forget. Everybody answered about the division? Yeah,
This is Nick's
yeah.
left.
Yeah.
All right.
She went to go grab. She
So
went to get the water. Dev,
so so now the question is
No,
this:
you got.
is complacency a risk for the Knicks? We got high lofty goals. We know that we the best in the division, maybe the best in the East. Do we have to worry about guys getting complacent and expecting just to be at the top of the pile, pause, or the top of the ladder because we just talent better than everybody? I said pause.
took it the bag.
Nah, listen. I don't think so because I think these guys are hungry. I think these guys are we got to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, and I think that these guys want more than that. I think these guys want to win a championship, so I think they know. I think they know what it takes to get to that level, and it's all about adjusting to what Mike Brown wants to do, and as long as they do that, I think the Knicks should. I think we'd be just fine. I don't think they're gonna be complacent or nothing like that.
Um,
Honestly,
Jalen,
go ahead, Parlay.
my bad. Jalen Brunson said it best. He said, "Every year I've been here, we've taken a step. It's now time to take that next step and reach the NBA Finals
Hmm.
because we have seen steady progress with this team since the acquisition of Jalen Brunson. And yes, blood is in the water. As Marlon said in these comments, there is blood in the water. And this New York Knicks team is hungry. Guys like Josh Hart and let me start with Jalen Brunson first because Jalen Brunson is the captain and he's humble. He humble himself. He's like, listen, I know I gotta get us to that next level. I gotta get us there. It's like he takes responsibility for it, and they know what they gotta do. So I think the team is very hungry. I think you're gonna see the hunger come out of this team in the first few games, and they're gonna show why they gonna win the East this year.
I think without a doubt, this team they understand the what the assignment is. They understand that this city is hungry. This city is starving. And to be honest with you, I think that this team thought that they were going to win it 2 years ago. And when that didn't happen, they had a mission. And then last year, They thought they were going to win it again. It didn't happen again. Lost to the same team, the damn Indiana Pacers. Now they're not now they're not even a freaking they're not even in the discussion right now. No one's picking them. No one in Indianapolis is picking them. So I think that right now complacency, yes, it can rear its head because, you know, but at the same time, I know my captain. I know my star players. I know for better or for worse, I know who my owner is. I know who the boss making the moves is. And I don't doubt for 1 second that complacency is not going to be tolerated, not with this coach, under these conditions, under this kind of expectation, and not especially not in this market. So to answer your question, T, I don't think for a second the complacency is going to be. It's going to rear its head, but I don't think it's going to be tolerated.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's gonna be tolerated complacency, but I think it's also a risk. You know what I mean? Like everybody's human. You feel me? Like especially if we get off to a hot start, it's a risk. The guys think that you know, everybody's saying that we supposed to win. Maybe we are supposed to win. You feel me? Like so. Um, yeah, that is a risk. Yeah, I mean, but what you call it? I had another question. My bad. Uh, did everybody answer? That's the question. One. Yeah, I don't want to skip nobody. Yeah. So now a more broader outlook on the topic is the Eastern Conference. And my question to the panel is this: who is the true threat to the Knicks for the number one spot in the Eastern
What?
Conference? I,
What?
I
I
mean,
haven't
we all
answered one
know.
of these first all night. Let me get.
Go
Let
ahead.
me,
You
you
got
know
it.
what I
You
mean?
got it. You got it.
Uh,
You got it.
so I'm going to say, well, I'm going to say as far as the Eastern Conference go,
Hey.
going to say, going to say the Cavs as far as the number one spot go, right? It's under. You can't deny what they did last year in the regular season. You know what I mean? Are they a playoff team? I think they're absolutely cupcakes in the playoffs. But in the regular season, as far as you talking about who's going to be the number one seed, they're an absolute threat to that. Uh, but everybody else, not so sure. Orlando is interested. I'm not going to lie to you. Orlando got me looking over my shoulder. Uh, but as far as everybody else, the East is kind of cupcake. Tyrese Halliburton not being on the Pacers puts a big damper there. Even them losing Miles Turner, big damper there. Brooklyn, like we said, dumpster fire. I'm interested. I can't really give you an honest assessment on what the Hawks are going to be with Porzingis because he's always hurt, and nobody else really made any moves that
Um,
moves me in the conference. Yeah, Cap.
I think a team that could could give us a problem and gave us a fight in the playoffs last year was Detroit. You know, don't sleep on Detroit. I think they signed Karis LeVert. I think Karis LeVert is an upgrade. I think he's a good player. They young. They play good defense. Um,
Duncan Robinson.
Orlando. Yeah. Right. You know, Orlando got better. That's another team to watch out for. You know, I'm not saying
Desmond
that
Bain.
they're gonna beat us or nothing like that, but I think those are two teams right there, especially Detroit, because of K. You got K. Cunningham got another year under his belt, so
Mm-hmm.
you know people forget about him. I think that they got what you call it, the center, that he's a real big problem in the
Jalen,
paint. Jalen Durant. Jalen
Jalen
Durant.
Durant.
That's the kid that we drafted,
And
and
they
we
probably
send
gonna
him
have
to
Ivory back too.
Detroit. Right, they
And they
getting
probably gonna
Jalen
have Ivory
Ivory
back
back.
too.
They're gonna
Yeah,
get
Ivory
Jalen
back.
Ivory back. So though that's and don't forget Atlanta. That they might be another team on the come up because they got the kid Jalen Johnson coming back from injury last year. He's a really good player. So those are three teams, right? We already know what the Cavs bring. Milwaukee got Miles Turner, so you never know how that's gonna work out. Um, but I think Detroit is the team that I really feel that is going to be one of those pesky teams that's going to give us a run for our money.
Hmm.
And just a reminder, all of them did get better, but so did we. Like
We did.
we can't assess what them getting better to our old team, right? Because let's just be for real, our bench didn't give us anything last season, and this season they will give us a lot. And so while everyone else upgraded, I feel like we upgraded the most.
Yeah.
We absolutely upgraded the most.
Oh, for sure.
So sorry to interject. I know there's other people that need to talk, but like when we talk about Detroit, like and versus how like to kind of piggyback off what Mrs. Nix was saying, we addressed our biggest flaw, right, which was our bench.
The mm-hmm.
Detroit, I can't say the same, right? When you talk about Karis LeVert, injury-prone player, is he going to be healthy enough to even help that roster? You talk about Duncan Robinson. He don't play no deep. He's a fucking cone. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, I do think Detroit will be there when you talk about who's the one of the best teams in the East. I think it will be in the mentions because of Cade Cunningham, because of Duran, and because of Ivory. But when it comes to being like actual like threats for like outside of that, I see them falling short because of you know the people that they added. You know what I mean? It's not like I think they fall short because Karis LeVert, he's probably not gonna be healthy coming into the playoffs. Duncan Robinson, he could shoot, but he's not a defender. He's a liability on defense. You know what I mean? Like, and defense is something that they hung their hat on when they played us. And then you also gotta add the fact that the way we played into their hands. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna land the plane there. I was too long-winded, more long-winded than I wanted to be saying that. But
No,
yeah.
I wanted to add, sorry, Knickerbocker. Not only that, tea time, but our offense is going to be upgraded and something that they haven't seen yet with the talent that we have, right? So we saw Detroit and the Pacers. Their whole mentality against us was stop JB. Well, if JB's playing off the ball and someone else is running the offense, so you say, what are they going to do then? Who are they going to stop? What's going to be their focus, right? Because if their focus is who has the ball, bringing the ball up, then guess what? JB's a bigger threat than he was last season, this season.
Not to mention, you mentioned Detroit's bigs. They're gonna have to figure a way to keep Mitchell Robinson out of the paint. They're gonna have to figure a way how to defend Karl Anthony Towns out beyond the arc. They're gonna have to figure a way to keep Ariel Hawkporty out of the paint because that's where he dwells. He's like a freaking paint monster. He's a paint troll basically. And then on top of that, as Mrs. Nix just alluded to, getting the ball out of JB's hands, and then you're gonna have guys who are gonna create. You have OG Anunoby who can create. You have Mikal Bridges who can create. You got to figure a way to keep Josh Hart off the boards. That's going to be a matchup nightmare for just about every single team in the NBA, including a young Detroit team that was exposed that they couldn't keep up with us. Even though they try to run us out of the gym, they couldn't keep up with us, especially when it comes to crunch time, because they didn't have that. They don't have that special player. Cade Cunningham is an exceptional player, and he can do a lot of things. But the one thing that he really can't do, he can't finish. He can't finish the same way that like a Brunson can. He can't finish the same way as any of the elite guys like a Lillard or Jalen Brown or even Jason Tatum or even Tyrese Halliburton. He's not the greatest finisher. So unless he enhanced that game during the offseason, because he got exposed a little bit in the playoffs. I mean, they're going to be a good team. They're going to give a lot of team fits. They're probably going to be contending for their own division, but in the Eastern Conference, 4 or 5 seed.
And
Nah,
let's not forget, they lost a big part of their team too, right? Because Beasley's gone. He played a huge role on their team last season.
I only mentioned Detroit because
No, they're gonna be good for sure. They're not on our level good though. They're not on our level
no,
good.
I don't think they on our level. I think that I agree with everything y'all was saying. I just brought up Detroit because he said which team we thought was gonna give us or a run for our money. So I thought that was one of the teams that might, give us a run for our money.
So
That's
this is
that's the
kind
only
of
reason why I brought up Detroit.
this is kind of like the same question, but it's not the same question, right? Uh, now we because the question was who will get us a run for money as the number one seed in the East. Now the question is who will
Right.
give us a run for our money? Who? No, not even run for money. Who are you? The scared is a loaded word, but who are you most scared of in the East in the playoffs?
Nah, I'm
Well,
not.
None.
well, I ain't.
None. Zero.
Well, I ain't get to answer the first
I like.
question,
My
Go
fault.
ahead.
My
but
fault,
Yeah.
Fraz. My fault, Fraz. My fault.
it's okay. For the number one seed, obviously Cleveland will be there. They're regular season wonders until the playoffs come. They choke. You got to throw
Right.
Orlando
Right.
in that mix because
Yeah.
Orlando has given us problems over the last 3 seasons or so. Like
That's a fact.
they've either split or won the season series from us. So it's like they have our number in a way to me. So that's a team I'm definitely like. Okay, I gotta be aware on this week. We gotta play them. Let's
Hmm.
make sure we beat them. Like, but now what's this question now? Because I could just answer this one too real quick,
Who
and
in the
then I'll let
East?
somebody else go. So who's gonna
Who you
win the
scared of in
East?
the East?
Who I'm scared of in the East?
In
Honestly,
in the playoffs.
in the playoffs, I would. Hmm. Nobody, honestly, because Cleveland hasn't been proven themselves. But Orlando, they played well in the first round, lost in 7 games. They haven't really proven themselves, and everybody knows the situation come playoff time. Are you gonna have your team available? Most of the time, the answer is gonna be yes for a team like this Knicks squad. So yes, I do agree. The answer is absolutely none of these teams in the East. I'm scared of in the playoffs.
I'm gonna have to say it depends. I'm gonna have to say it depends how a team is playing going into the playoffs. Cause sometimes when a team is peaking at the right time, I always say it. Those teams are pretty hard to beat. Um, so that's how I feel about that. If you got one of those Cleveland teams or Detroit teams, or even, sometimes you got one of those playing teams that's playing real decent basketball going into the playoffs. Those might be one of those teams you got to watch out for because they might give you either a run for your money or like recently the Heat, the eighth seed, beat everybody just to go to the finals. So that's how I feel about that.
Heat is
Yeah.
dirt. But
That was just an example. That was just
no,
an
I had to say
example.
that
Just saying.
because it was a Heat
There
fan in
was a
here
Heat
earlier.
fan
That was
earlier.
saying,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I heard what he
yeah,
said.
yeah,
Yeah.
my guy Knickerbocker wanted to punch him in the face, but it is what it is. You know what I mean?
but Orlando, yes, because and they're getting a lot of their players that was injured back.
And
So
the Desmond
plus
Yeah,
Bain.
plus what they added in Desmond Bain, that could be a team, to look out for.
and that was my pick. If it was a team that in the playoffs, I would want to avoid that. That was a better term, right? I would want to avoid, right? It would be the Orlando Magic. Pablo Banchero is a problem. You know what I mean?
Right.
Uh, and like you said, adding Desmond Bain was that guy could score. The T Rex arms could score. You know what I mean? Like it, Velociraptor arms.
I was about to say Velociraptor.
He could get a bucket. You know what I mean?
He called the
Yeah,
Velociraptor.
word up.
And then you add, they still got Franz. You know what I mean? Even though Franz didn't perform well in the playoffs that last year, it's less stress on him now, maybe being the third option on the team. He still can
Yeah.
score. You know what I mean? And they got a lot of complementary players. And if you watch the way that they play Boston, uh, you know, it's the same way that they said that Boston just missed a lot of shots against us and we didn't play good defense. They were saying the same thing about. They were saying the same thing
Bullshit.
about. Yeah, that's facts. They were, and that's what I was leading up to. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I don't know what it is tonight, but Knickerbocker Ave, we are the same wavelength. But I was saying, like, they were saying that Boston was just missing a lot of shots. But I watched that series because I knew he was going to end up playing them. And it was the defense that made Boston miss those shots. Same way it was the defense that made Boston miss some shots against the Knicks. And that's worrisome. You know what I mean? Because they bringing back a lot of their players and they added a huge offensive, not a huge, but a big offensive punch in Desmond Bain. I still think we're going to win in six. You know what I mean? Knicks in six. Well, Uncle Paulie said it. Knicks in six, all 26. You feel me? Yeah, for sure. I like that. But yeah, if it's anybody that I'm looking at like, I would rather not play them, it's Orlando. I'm Orlando playing there.
If you're enjoying the content here, please do us a favor, hit a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Sharing is always caring. Be sure to hit the notification icon because it is now time. But we have to do a little business real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, the following segment includes discussions about sports betting and gambling. This content is for entertainment and informational purposes only. We are not financial advisors of any kind, and nothing discussed should be considered betting advice or a guarantee of results. Gambling always carries a risk. Never wager more than you can afford or to lose. If you choose to bet, please do so responsibly and know your limits. If you or someone you know, someone you care about, is struggling with gambling addiction, help is available in the United States. You can call or text the National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-522-4700 or for free confidential support. You can also visit the website beaware.org. It is now time, ladies and gentlemen, for the Parlay Lords.
Parlay Lord!
Yes, sir. Shout out. First and foremost, shout out to Marley Moore. He in the chat. He, of course, I always tell y'all that's the reason why I have this name now. It's from Marley Moore, man. Shout out my brother Marley Moore. You know what I mean? Parlay low went 6-4 last week, y'all. So we 16-14 after 3 weeks of the NFL season on picks. So let's get into it. Let's start off with the Parlay Lords picks for over unders this week. I like the Panthers and Patriots under 36.5. I think that's gonna be a very low scoring affair. You know what I mean? Up in New England. Um, I'm looking at the Browns Lions over 50.5. I think that's going to be a high scoring affair. The Lions score a lot of points and give up a lot of points. And you can't sleep on Joe Flacco. He was putting up some points against the Ravens, even in a loss. So I like the over there. And for the Bengals and the Broncos, I like the under 44.5. No Joe Burrow again this week for the Bengals. They had a little struggle against the Vikings without Joe Burrow, and the Broncos defense is very stingy, so I definitely like the under on that game. So Here go my money line picks for week 4. Definitely the Lions over the Browns this week, especially if it's minus 220 or better. That's where I like it. On DraftKings. The Texans money line over the Titans at somewhere around minus 350. Check your odds before you place your bets. And my sleeper pick is the Packers over the Cowboys this week with plus odds. Yeah, I definitely like the Packers this week over the Cowboys. Michael Parsons has a chip on his shoulder, ladies and gentlemen. He's out
Yo,
for blood.
yo, Parlay Lord, right? I wasn't 100% sure that you had that on your parlay because I don't never talk to the Parlay Lord about his picks before the show. And I had a segment that's like Michael Parsons revenge game, question mark. And I said, let me delete this. And the Parlay Lord got it on his picks.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Right here.
please do so. Please bet responsibly. If you lose, it ain't our fault. If you win, shout us out. Give the Parlay Lord all his love because you went with his picks.
I'm not done yet. Don't worry. I'm
We got
almost
more.
done. I got you.
But wait,
I gotta
there's
do it.
more.
That was just a short intermission there, real quick. My touchdown score picks for this week for the anytime touchdown score are as follows. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown against that Browns defense. I see him having a game against the Browns. I think he's definitely going to score a touchdown this week. I like Zamir White for the Raiders. I think he's going to score a touchdown this week. I also like Isaiah Likely for the Ravens. I think the Ravens is definitely going to be utilizing a tight end on the Chiefs this week. And Brees Hall for the Jets. I think he's going to, cross the goal line and score a touchdown. And those, ladies and gentlemen, are your Parlay Lord picks for week 4.
I am still mad you have yet to say, because I know me and Mrs. Nix are waiting for it. When in the world is Malik Neighbors getting into the end zone? When?
Never.
I don't
You know why I say
man.
never? Because the Giants is a joke of an organization. Joke. Yo, listen. I told every last single one of y'all that this shit was gonna happen. I told y'all. Beginning of the season. No. Mr. Optimism Kev over there. Mr. Optimism. Kev.
The thing is you salty because we didn't get what's the name? Shador Sanders. That's the only thing. That's the only thing. You know what I'm saying?
Kev.
That's the only thing. So I understand, but I understand the saltiness. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm gonna tell you one thing though. When my man Jackson Dart, I really don't want to see him go out there right now, but I'm forced to watch him go out there right now. But I really think that this kid, you're gonna be loving the Giants again.
I won't.
Mark my
I promise
word.
you I won't.
Mark it. Book it.
Kev, I promise you I won't. Right?
Okay.
Because one, there's a few reasons. One being that I told you this was going to happen with Russell Wilson. I knew it because I knew he was washed, right?
I was forced to be a fan of Russell Wilson because, as Fras can tell you, I didn't want Russell Wilson.
So, two,
sure.
The ball is a freaking joke of a head coach, right? And we see, look what they got Daniel Jones and Indy looking like a generational talent, yo. The same guy.
Man,
yo, Cavs, it's the same guy you were saying that, he's not that bad. And I was like, oh, this guy is horrible. He's like, he's not that bad. He goes to a competent franchise and he's looking like a generational talent in 3 weeks. And three, right? Jackson Dart looked great in the preseason because he threw nothing but screens. I want to see him throw the ball down the field. What's going to happen when he has to work with that joke of a coach and have to throw the ball down the field? Parlay Lord, you know what you should have put on your picks? Parlay Lord, you know what you should have put on your picks? Jackson Dart for a pick or two.
I'm dead.
Pack him up!
Jackson Dart.
Pack him up! Yo, Kev, just to make you feel better, I'm not jacking nobody right now in the NFL because I'm on everybody hated on Shador train. And the real reason why I hate the Giants, because I feel like they lied on that boy. We know who that kid daddy is. You think his daddy had him going to an NFL meeting unprepared? Like, how does that make sense? Deion Sanders has been training this kid his whole life for this moment.
Since he was in the womb.
Whole life. And you mean to tell me at the time it is to actually get to the bag, primetime Mr. All About the Money is going to have his son go in there unprepared? That sounds like a lot of me. And if you watch every interview after he got drafted, he's talking about how he talks. That doesn't sound like a kid that will go into a draft meeting unprepared. This is my saltiness coming from the Giants. And I think it's mostly because the ball didn't want him, right? Because that's even more pressure on the ball if you get a caliber quarterback like Shador Sanders and he don't perform. Even behind a bad line, when he has a history being good, behind a bad line, which our line is still doo-doo. Our line, excuse me, y'all line. That ain't not my line no more. That's y'all line. Still
You said hour. You said hour.
Nah, Kev.
You said hour. You said hour.
Yeah, force to have it. Force to have it, Kev. But nah, y'all line is still doo-doo. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I still watch the games just to laugh. The only time I can't laugh
You
is
ain't
when
give up on the Knicks all these badass seasons we had. How
Right.
you gonna give up on
Right.
the Giants?
Right. Thank
No,
you.
I'm gonna tell you
Thank
why.
you.
I'm gonna tell
Thank
you
you.
why. I'm gonna
Thank
tell you
you.
why. I
Thank
didn't
you.
want to do that. I was trying to stay out of political. I also think it's a sprinkle of racism in there. We had this conversation already, so I didn't want to bring it there. I was trying to stay out of there. You know what I mean?
I have suspected that myself.
I,
I suspected.
I don't.
And then the kickback on that was, but we signed Russell Westbrook. I mean, Wilson, and what's the other guy? Mr.
Jameis
Eaton W.
Winston. Jameis
Jameis
Winston.
Winston. We know those guys are pit stops. We know they would never be fixtures as far as what it means to be the face of the Giants. You know what I mean? Like, you're trying to sell me on the Great White Hope again. I'm not a fan of it. Shador Sanders, if you base it on college production, was clearly the better choice. Clearly the better choice.
Can't argue. Can't argue there.
Ain't
And
at all. Numbers don't lie.
this is why I'm not jack. It's not just the Giants. I'm not jacking the whole NFL. I'll watch it because I like football, but I'm not rooting for nobody. I hope everybody lose.
All right. So since we're throwing that out there, we're 4 weeks in. Who's going to the chip?
Before we say that, and the reason why I never switched up on the Knicks too, because the Knicks are the first NBA team to sign a black player to a contract. Sweetwater, facts. Do the Googles.
Yep, that's a fact.
You know what I mean?
Absolute fact.
So we could be 80. Well, I don't even want to say that neither because that's bad juju. But we could be bad, and I'm still going to root for the Knicks because they was the first people to sign. They wasn't the first people to draft somebody that was African American, but they were the first people, the first organization to sign an African American player to a contract.
If I remember correctly, the Knicks are also the first NBA team to sign an African American head coach, if I remember correctly.
I'm not sure of that, but if that's true, then that's even more reason why these
It,
colors
it,
don't
it
run.
was so bad. It was so bad that I actually read a headline in the 70s. Actually, in the late 60s, they referred to the Knicks as the New York N-word Bockers. Not gonna say it. So
We
now
got to do some Googles on that. We got to do some Googles on that. We got to fact check that and come back next show and confirm that. But Kev, I don't judge nobody who still wants to be a Giant fan. I get it. I understand. You know what I mean? I understand. It's just for me, I can't do it.
From what I remember correctly, there was a couple of questions that was asked, and he wasn't feeling, or something happened that he wasn't willing to answer the questions. That the same questions was presented to Jackson Dart. He answered them with no problems. So my thing is, you're coming into this league already with this aura, like you this top,
Persona.
tier
Persona.
quarterback. You haven't, right. You coming in here thinking like you this, great big thing, and you haven't even done nothing yet, bro.
So
That was
so
my
so,
thing.
so
Now,
Kev,
now don't get me wrong, because he was one of those guys that I looked at, because he's somebody that we spoke about a lot. But with that kind of attitude, I kind of fell back from. Those were the kind of rumors that I was hearing about the kid, and I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of teams fell back. It wasn't just the Giants per se. It was a lot of teams, even the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns had a chance to draft him even before, if I'm not mistaken, before the
facts.
Giants, and they passed on him.
So Kev, let me. I'm I'm just gonna present what I know, right? I'm going to tell you this, right? That the initial story was he was unprepared. That's from the ball mouth. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that he didn't answer the so few questions that they didn't like the right way. The ball said he came into the interview unprepared, which I believe is 100% cap. I've been watching this kid career since Jackson. He's always been prepared. He even if it
We
comes
talking
off as
about playing against college kids compared to
hold on.
NFL
I'm not
kids,
done.
to
I'm
NFL
not done.
players.
I'm not done. I've watched this kid in his interviews. He's always been professional in all his interviews. Even though he may come off as confident, overconfident in himself, he still was professional in that. So to make me believe that he's going to go into a NFL interview and be like, I don't want to answer that question, or I'm not comfortable. That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to me because I've been watching this. Even though I'm a Giants fan, I used to love Deion Sanders. I'm talking about like, yo, Prime Time was my guy. Even though when he went to the Cowboys, it broke my heart. Like, come on, dog. Why there? You feel me? But anyway, I just think that's cap. You feel me? I think that was
Mm.
a way for them to get the guy that they wanted because everybody expected him, should say him as Shador to go number 3, right? They expect him to go number 3. That's where the Giants was. They didn't want Shador. So we got to find a way to be like, all right, this is not our guy. If we pick this guy, Jackson Dart over him, they're going to crucify us. So we got to find a way. And Dion even said that, yo, what they saying about my son is untrue. Right? And then I had another point. But my memory and the Hennessy is kicking in. I ain't going to lie.
then maybe we should wrap this up.
We already knew he was gonna be here 2 hours. Don't
We almost
don't rush,
there.
don't rush the flavor, man. The pause. Yeah, I just think that whole scenario was capped. Yeah, I mean, I think the Giants knew who they wanted. You know what I mean? And it wasn't Shador. Oh, that's the point I wanted to make. We know how far narratives carry in professional sports. We literally watched it happen to Melo. Stuff that was untrue, that was said about Carmelo Anthony by an organization, and everybody ran with it. And Melo came out himself and said, yo, nobody ever talked to me about coming off the bench. If they had that conversation, we would have had that conversation, but nobody ever said that. But the narrative about Melo was that he refuses to come off the bench. And we know that JaVale McGee, as an NBA player, said what Shaq, the narrative that Shaq was painting about him, made teams not want to rock with him. And then he ended up being a pivotal part of championship teams.
Yeah.
I think the Giants lied because they wanted Jackson Dart and they didn't want the Deion Sanders circus. That's just where I'm going to leave it. You know what I mean? And I don't judge nobody for
Oh
still
man,
supporting that. But I'm just saying, me,
I'm not choosing a player that hasn't played one game, over a team I've been a fan for all my life, that I watched win 4 Super Bowls.
yeah, listen,
I'm
it,
not
it
gonna
was
do it.
nice.
I'm not
It
gonna
was
do
nice.
it. I'm not gonna
It,
do that.
Kev, it was
I'm just
nice,
saying,
right?
I'm not switching up on my team for a player that has not played one single NFL game. Not one.
I
I
hear you,
will
Kev.
not do that. I
So,
will not do that. If
and
you ain't
nobody,
switch up on the Knicks, listen, if you ain't switch up on the Knicks all them years, it's crazy to me that you will switch up on the Giants for one
I think,
player who hasn't played a
I think,
game yet. It's
I think I
wild
just
crazy to me.
explained why I didn't,
But
Kev. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna lay down the plan. I
Yeah,
landed there, bro.
I think
It don't make no
I think
sense to me.
I think I explained it perfectly why I did it, right?
I just
I
don't. It don't make no sense to me.
I
It
think
don't.
I explained it perfectly why I did. Again, not judging you for
It's not
wanting
a
for
valid
supporting.
explanation to me, bro.
All right, are you done? I explained it
It's not a
perfectly.
valid explanation. It's not a valid one, bro.
All right, Kev, can I talk now?
You've
You
been
said it
talking
was,
the whole time, bro. You've been talking the whole time. I've been
okay,
quiet.
but you said
But go
it's
ahead,
not a valid
bro. You could
explanation.
get
Like
ahead, bro. You
you
could get
said it's
ahead,
not a
bro.
valid explanation. Like 3, 4, 5 times while I was trying to explain why it's valid explanation. Yeah, I mean, but look, check it. Right, the reason why I told you why I support the Knicks, even though they're bad, is because one, they're the first team who ever signed a black player. Yeah, I mean, that's one. The reason why I'm switching up on the Giants is because the racial undertones. It's starting to become undeniable. And I'm not judging anybody who still support the Giants. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, that's your decision. And you don't have to see it the way I see it. You feel me? I am the same person who boycotted the NFL for Colin Kaepernick. You know what I mean? The only reason why I started watching the NFL again is because Colin Kaepernick's story started getting murky and blurry to me. He took the money and he started making a circus out of it when they tried to give him a job. So that's why I started watching the NFL again. You know what I mean? Like, bro, my shit is bigger than just rooting for a team, dog. Like, the Morris, there's been, and I'm not the only person who sees it this way. It's been rumors around the league for years and around sports fans that they might be a little bit racist.
Oh, you mean the Maris?
Yeah, the Maris. Yeah, my fault. I said the Morris. The Maris. They might be a little bit racist. That's just not my opinion. You feel me? That's just not my opinion. And I don't judge anybody for supporting them. And that's fine. You feel me? Like you,
That sounds
you
like
don't have to see it my way. You know what I mean? Like, but the way I see it, that shit was a hit job on Shador Sanders. Because there's no way in the world you can tell me that kid was not supposed to be number 3 or drafted before Jackson Dart. And to make up a story that he was unprepared for an interview when his father is Deion Sanders and prepared him for this moment his whole entire life, that literally makes no sense. That makes no sense.
I mean, to me, that doesn't make sense. But what also doesn't make sense is if he was supposed to go 3, how come he didn't go 4 or
I
5
just
or
explained
6?
that too. I just explained that. You know how far a narrative could go. If the Giants put out, oh, he was unprepared. Other
Yeah,
teams,
but the Giants aren't the only team he
But
met with.
listen,
but look,
he
same thing
was
as other
drafted. He
teams.
could have been drafted.
Same
He
way
could have
other
been
teams
drafted
didn't.
before us as well. He could have been drafted before us as well, and the teams before us didn't draft
He was
him.
already. You know why? Because the guys before him were better and was projected to go before him. The guys that was drafted before him was projected to go before him. You talk about Cam Ward. You talk about Travis Hunter. Those guys were projected to go before him. That was the draft order all the way up to the draft.
No,
And then once the
at one
narrative
point,
get
the
out,
one.
once the narrative get out about a player, we cannot act like that is not something that don't stick. We've seen it all throughout the history of
No,
football
I agree with you on that.
or
I
in
agree,
sports.
like false narratives stick. I just feel like the Giants weren't the only team he met with, and for nobody to pick him, you can't say that he didn't get picked by all those other teams just because of the Giants. Something else had to go on behind
That's
the scenes.
bro. We did we not watch a whole collusion situation happen? Do we not know that all these owners are in lock and step? Like, we gonna act like that don't exist? All right, copy. I got you.
I
So
know.
all the other teams are racist too. I mean, I'm not saying that
Yo,
we're not. I'm not saying that the Giants ownership isn't. I don't know.
we watched a guy get blackballed for having a silent protest on the field, but we watched Travis Kelce wear a MAGA hat on the field, and nobody said anything.
Well,
I mean, 1 + 1 = 2 all the time. That's all I'm saying.
we're not gonna get into that. I mean, we'll be here. We'll be here all night all the way to Sunday morning. So, folks,
Listen, y'all know it's all love. This is my family here. Family sometimes do this.
we tend to do this a lot.
Yo. So Nigga Buckeye is telling me to close out the show. My bad.
I'm enjoying the conversation. I don't want to. I don't want people to just stumble upon the show and they're expected to be seeing Knicks and Ish, and we're over here talking about NFL and the politics. So,
We're in the part. We're in the innish part of the show. The
All right,
innish
we're good.
part. We in the innish part of the
very
show
rare.
right now.
These parts are very
Very
rare.
rare.
You feel me? So
Very
enjoy it,
rare.
because
Word.
once the season starts, it's gonna be less and ish.
Or none.
Word. And a lot of Knicks.
All right, so boom. Let me do my little spiel so we can get up out of here. Shout out to everybody that pulled up tonight. Yeah, I mean, if you didn't already do so, make sure you hit that like button. Sharing is always caring. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell. Yeah, I mean, make sure you visit the Shopify. Excuse me. Scrolling across the bottom, next to ish at myshopify.com. And if you're too lazy to do that, it's on the YouTube channel. Facts. We see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Fras,
Hit the outro.
I guess I got to do it, huh?